It's I don't know if anyone's going to believe this, but it's episode 78. And episode 78 features both myself, Brian Elsner, and Kevin Cacabellos. Can you
I'm
believe
back.
it?
I was
Can
in
you
like a
believe it?
hole. Yeah. Um,
Kev, the theme this week is Christmas questions, which isn't really a theme. It's just whatever I came up with. And the first question is
well, we're getting right into it.
no. It'll make sense.
Okay.
Uh, although I just freaked out because I made a weird noise right there, and you just sent me like a recap of our year, and it was like all of our ums and uhs. So now I'm freaking out. Okay, the first question is the pod dying?
No.
A listener asked me that.
No. Thank goodness it's not dying.
I mean, it's
We
been
just
3 weeks since we've been together.
yeah, and I've cranked out 2 articles in the mean. Can you
You
believe that?
have. It's been amazing. Yeah.
First of all,
Well, we're back, and it's episode 78, and the podcast hasn't gone anywhere. We've gotten some press. I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know if the Seattle Prep alumni newsletter
Newsletter is press,
press.
but
It's press to
I'll
somebody.
count it. I'll count
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we'll count it. Somebody asked me, I went on a houseboat on Friday for
A lot of houseboats.
well, yeah, it was a Christmas celebration. Shout out to Tom O'Toole, who I don't think listens to our podcast, but
Yeah.
he took us all on a boat to celebrate Christmas and look at lights. I don't think I saw any lights. I just hung out on the boat. But it was first question when people see me is, how's the podcast going? You making any money?
God.
Yeah. So the podcast is great. Second answer, not so much. Okay, episode 78. Here we go. Christmas questions is the theme. I wore my Christmas Merry Swishmas
I mean, does
sweatshirt.
this is
You
kind
wore
of
your
Christian?
you wore
Like,
your
there's a
Notre
Notre
Dame.
Dame.
Yeah. Touchdown Jesus. Jesus is born. Sure. Here we
Says
go.
God, country, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Like that is very yeah.
Yeah. And you wore your Kraken hat in honor of I got nothing. I got nothing.
Very
I got nothing.
successful
Hopefully they
Seattle
pull off
Kraken.
this win tonight as we're
You know, do you think
podcasting.
they'd let us ask a question at the press conference?
Boy. Yeah, that was a bad look for the Kraken. That was weird.
They came out and apologized the next day. but the damage
Immediately.
had
Yeah.
already been done.
Yeah. They only let the team spokesperson ask questions at a press conference. They had lost 9 out of 10 games. Really wasn't good for the Kraken right now. But
Yeah.
maybe they'll turn it around. You know, they're like not out of the playoff hunt. But
Yeah,
we could
but
talk about
it's
the Kraken in February. Yeah.
yeah. The
When
saddest-
all we have is the Winter Olympics and the Kraken, we'll have
man,
plenty
we're gonna be dying for topics.
where it'll be, it'll be spring training time. Okay. So Christmas questions, we'll just go back and forth asking questions we have a lot to talk about. We haven't talked in 3 weeks together in the pod. People miss us. I get texts left and right. People really want it. So the first question I think is from me to you, Kev. If I have this right. Yep. So
No, it's from me to you.
okay, great.
Was
for it.
that the best Seahawks regular season game you have ever seen?
Oh my God, that game is bananas. I had a friend call me today and say, what was the best game of the weekend? Which is a great question because there were some insane NFL games this weekend. You probably weren't able to see them all, but the Bears won a totally improbable game against the Packers. The Patriots won an improbable game. The Lions game was wild and bananas at the end. But the Seahawks Rams was nuts. So 30 to 4,
like game of the year.
yeah,
like
30 to 14 Rams up. In fairness, the Rams were dominating the game. Also, in a game like that, you can't have Cooper Kupp fumble the ball at the 10-yard line. Like, there's some things that could have made it a little closer, but the Rams were really good. Right? And we can get back to this in a second, but I was walking to Super Deli Mart and missed all of the comeback. I'm logging into a computer because my family's watching Stranger Things and I can't get on the TV. They won't give up the TV and I missed the touchdown. All of a sudden it's 30 to 30 and I have to go back and watch replays. Like, it was bananas what happened.
Yeah.
And then once it was 30 to 30, I watched from there. The 2-point conversion to win it, which everybody knew was coming because a tie did nothing for the Seahawks in the race for the NFC West. Yeah. All the things. Darnold with the 2 picks and then the amazing throws at the end, the Shaheed return, The defensive line totally turning the game around, going from getting no pressure on Stafford to 10 quarterback pressures in the fourth quarter alone with a
Yeah.
40% pressure rate when it was 26.9 the rest of the game. The
And
Rams being
then
the first team in NFL history with 500 yards, zero turnovers, and forcing three turnovers to lose ever. Yeah,
yeah.
it's the most
Did you
ridiculous
see
game
the
ever.
stat? It was like teams were 0 and 172 when down by 14.
It was the
I don't know.
Seahawks, I
It was
think,
the
in the
Seahawks.
history of the franchise,
Yeah.
were 0 and 100, yeah,
They showed
172.
the score bug,
And
and
then the Rams were like 351 and 1. Yes, that is the thing that most people talked to me about the next day was like, "Did you see that stat?" Because it's absurd. I mean, yes, it's absurd. And I know you did this too, but I tried to go through other possible big games in Seahawks history. So I wanted to throw a few out there, but I don't think they compare. So, and I went on some Reddit threads. I found a guy, had been watching the Seahawks for 50 years. He threw out in 1984, Kev. The Seahawks were 10-2 and played the Denver Broncos, who were 11-1. That's a pretty big regular season game. But the Seahawks ended up as a wild card. I mean, it's similar vibes. 1984. I mean, I was 5. There's not many people remember that. A lot of people point to um, Russell Wilson's coming out party in 2012 against Chicago, or beating Tom Brady in the same year.
I think that one is significant.
The Fail
Yeah.
Mary is I
Yeah.
mean, the Fail Mary from a chaos standpoint. There's also a 2017 Deshaun Watson Russell game that apparently is like totally worth watching. Both guys are just on absolute heaters and are awesome. But this is two teams that are what, 11-3.
And it was not only for the division, but kind of like de facto for the NFC.
The number one seed. I mean, the
Yeah.
Seahawks have a hard road. We can talk about this, but yeah, it was insane. It was a Thursday night
Yeah.
football, like
We haven't
everything.
even talked about the insane play.
Yeah.
The 2-point
The
conversion.
Zachwards pass.
It hits, yeah, it hits a lineman that's rushing the quarterback, but it's a backwards pass. And then Charbonnet just picks the ball up,
Right.
like, and
Not
hands it to the
purposely.
ref.
Not
Not
purposely.
purposefully, right?
And they
They
get the
say
2
after
points.
the game, like, that's how it's taught, like, to
Right.
always pick up the ball, which is like,
I
right,
believe
like,
that. I
yeah, I
believe
do
that
believe it.
somebody on the team should go pick it up just in case. I don't think that he was thinking that might have been a backwards pass. I should pick it up. I think
Yeah.
he was just
Yeah. If there were no rules, like, but there are rules, obviously, so I can't say there are
yes, there
no
are.
rules. But like, if I could have the rules the way I wanted them in the NFL, like, and just eyeballing what had happened during that play, there's no reason why the Seahawks should have got 2 points there. Like,
Sure.
it just that play, like that loophole doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
It's kind of stupid, and I'll admit it.
Right?
But
Aren't
like,
there 2 parts to the loophole? One, like it only works on a 2-point conversion versus another play. If you hear the whistle, it's dead.
yeah, yeah.
Although even with dead plays, if there's a clear recovery, they can give it to the team. So that's kind of tricky.
But in law, you always think of intent, like,
Yeah.
right? That's a difference between a murder and a
Hmm.
sorry, this got really deep.
It's all right.
Difference
Go
between
there.
a murder and like manslaughter. Like, there's different degrees of intent.
Yeah.
And here, like, Charbonnet did not intend to score 2 points when he picked that ball up, right? Like, the Seahawks weren't intending to do that. Like, no one in the stadium intended or wanted that to, or thought that that could be 2 points. Like, no one,
In
except
fairness,
the
you can't.
refs.
I don't know that you can use the analogy of intent for all things in sports because, like, I don't
Things
know,
of
like, yeah,
luck.
like
Yeah,
you could look at so many football plays where it's like, oh, I intended to throw to that receiver and it went off his hands and then was caught in the end zone by somebody else, whatever.
yeah. That's what makes sports
Um,
great. Do you think that was like the weirdest play though? Like, on the level of like, or is Fail Mary kind of, are they
I
in the
think Fail
same
Mary's
bucket?
still weirder.
Yeah,
I think Russell's 2-point conversion
in the
against the
Packers game,
Packers where
but
he
he's
just
falling
throws the
away.
ball up. I think the Tony Romo drop field goal is actually more improbable
Yeah,
because it was like a 25-yard field goal and Romo's awesome and he just drops the ball. Like, The onside kick against the Packers is more improbable. Um, so I don't know. I mean, here's the other part about the 2-point conversion. Rams fans and sort of national media are talking about it as if it was like 25 seconds left, then it tied the game, and then it went to overtime immediately. No, the Rams punted 3 more times before they scored their touchdown in overtime.
Yeah.
So the Rams had a chance to win, as did the Seahawks. If the Seahawks hadn't gotten it, they were down 2. Obviously things change, but there was plenty of time left. So
Yeah.
I think everyone needs to stop talking about it like it was the end of the game situation. It wasn't.
Yeah. My last point here is that this game seems to be the inflection point for this team. Weirdly enough, even though they're 11-3, but
12-3 now, right?
12-3,
Yeah.
right? Just in the sense that like the national media is putting this team on a pedestal as like this is they could win the Super Bowl,
See, here's what's
right?
funny to me. The podcast I've listened to, I listened to sports radio today, both Seattle stations having some national people on. And the stuff I've heard is like people believe in the Rams actually more after this game. Like they didn't give the Seahawks maybe a
Oh,
little credit. It's
credit,
more the
yeah.
Sam Darnold piece of like, okay, let's not say he can't do it. So that's the one that switched a little bit, but everybody's like, I think the Rams are the best team after this game. And what bothers me about that is not that they're wrong, because I actually think I agree. I think the Rams are the best team in the NFC. Sorry, Seahawks fans. It's just how it is. But I get the argument that, okay, if I thought that before the game, right? So the game didn't change that for me.
Yeah.
People who thought the game did that because the Rams dominated in yards, where were you when the Seahawks dominated the Rams in yards? I guess it was just
Yeah.
because Sam Darnold had 4 interceptions at the Rams.
Yeah.
But what was the stat I sent you? The 2 games, the difference in the 2 teams is like 2 total yards. I think I sent that to you. So like they're right there. Third game is what everybody wants, I think. I
Yeah,
hope it's not. I hope it's not round 2, although it probably seems like it's headed that way.
yeah, I mean, the Niners are coming up, and that's
I
another
know. I
weird
mean,
I mean,
I
this is,
don't. I
like,
don't have any
really
confidence
it's
that
not
the.
really just the Rams and Seahawks. I think the
I mean,
49ers are in the party too,
this kind of
especially if you're
transitions
watching
to
them
my
tonight.
question with you. Maybe I'll make it a 2-parter. Do you think the Seahawks can beat the Niners? I really struggle with that. Secondly, are the Seahawks a Super Bowl contender? A legit Super
Yeah, so, 1, yes, I think they can beat the Niners even in Santa Clara, not San Francisco. And my reasoning is that, Purdy's good, um
5 touchdown passes tonight.
yeah, he was a beast tonight, and, like, Kittle, like, they're just clicking, like and McCaffrey's a beast, right? But I think the defense against the Rams kind of they gave up 30 plus points, but the team was still able to make plays, on special teams, and I think honestly, like, special teams is a huge difference maker for the Seahawks. I don't think that's the reason why they're gonna beat the Niners, but it's one of the factors that I think, like, could allow them to beat the Niners on the road because they can play all 3 phases really well. I it's hard for me to see the Seahawks just breaking to a point where they're giving up 35 plus, 36 plus, 37 plus points to the Niners, and so if you're not giving up that many points, you're gonna be in the game unless Darnold comes out and throws 3, 4 picks, but I don't think the Niners defense is at that level, especially after watching them tonight. They weren't
Yeah, and
dominating
their
defensively.
injuries have been an
Yeah,
issue, right? Fred Warner's
yeah.
out for the year. I mean, he's incredible.
Yeah, so
Um,
that's my answer on the Niners. Now, I do
let's
agree.
connect it to the other
Yeah,
question. Let's say the Seahawks beat the Panthers but lose to the Niners.
yeah,
I'm like trying to figure out what seed the Seahawks will be. They're gonna be. It would be like a 13-4 team with like a 6 seed. Like
yeah,
that's so stupid.
yeah, and they'd be on the road too from what I
Yeah,
remember
at
that
like
first round game.
Philly. Like,
And
ooh.
it's kinda dicey because if you end up in one of these, like, Midwest to East Coast places where there's gonna be snow and you're
Well, and
having to really
also
oh,
related to the question I want to ask you about, or I asked you about the Super Bowl
yeah,
contender. For me, like the Rams and Philly are my 2 teams I'm worried about. And because of their defense, like, well, the Rams, McVay, but the Philly defense, I think the Seahawks defense will be fine, but I could see the Philly defense
I'm just
really giving Darnold
yeah,
trouble.
I'm honestly afraid of an elite quarterback with experience, and I think that's what the Eagles have. And I think that's why people are still kind of hesitant on the Seahawks. It's the
Yeah,
same
for
question that
sure.
we had preseason. Like, how good is Sam Darnold? Well, like he's proven he's really good in the regular season. And it's the same issue that he had with the Vikings last year. Like in the big games in the playoffs, he wasn't really that good. And like we really won't get the answer to that question for at least a couple weeks until we get into the playoffs, right? And the goal is for this team is, and I think for fans to focus on is like, can the Seahawks get a home game in the playoffs? Like not even the one seed, just a home game. Because if they can get the home game, then that puts them in a much better position than having to rely on Darnold on the road in some hostile environment,
But the
right?
only way they get a home game is by being the 1 seed.
Oh, so then
Because
you answer
because
my
they
question.
can't. That's what's
Yeah,
so weird about it. I mean, they could theoretically get to an NFC. I mean, especially this year in the NFC, like it could be a
yeah,
5 and a 7 seed playing for the championship. And if they have the
yeah,
higher seed or better record, right, they could, but that wouldn't be for a couple rounds. They'd have to win a couple road games, which would be
yeah,
hard. The thing about Sam Darnold that's interesting is, I've seen a lot of people talk about it, heard a lot of, can Sam Darnold win, the Super Bowl, right? Or,
yeah.
LaShawn McCoy immediately was crushing the Rams and Seahawks, and people are just like, Sam Darnold this, Sam Darnold that. Okay, great. Like, what's the alternative? Like, this is where I get frustrated with people who make the analysis. They analyze the Seahawks or even the Mariners or whatever, and they're just like, well, they're not going to win the Super Bowl with him. I'm like, they might. Like
There have
Darnold's,
been teams that have won without like
I think
Peyton
Darnold's
Mannings
good
and
enough.
Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah, there's
right?
good.
Like the
Darnold's
Joe Flacco's
right,
and
and
right?
Darnold's good enough with the rest of the roster. Will he? I wouldn't. Honestly, I wouldn't bet on it this year.
Yeah,
Like, I just think it's too wide open, and maybe he's not. You're right. He hasn't proven it. But like,
yeah.
what are you gonna do? Okay, cut him. Like, there was talk on Seahawks Reddits after the 2 picks and on Twitter, like they got to move on from him. Like, that's the dumbest thing. You're gonna move on from a guy who's affordable, who's having a good year, to do what? To play Jalen Milroe next year? To play Drew Lock? To
Yeah,
go draft who? Who in the
yeah,
draft? There's not even the number 1 overall pick, Mendoza from Indiana, who won the Heisman. I'm not sold that he's winning a franchise. Do you want to go get Jackson Dart? Do you think he's going to win a Super Bowl? Like,
yeah.
all these guys, young guys, I
So,
just don't get
you
it.
want
I
me to just
don't get
name
it.
off the past 10 winning quarterbacks since 2014?
I mean, I think in general you need to be an elite
Yeah,
quarterback. I think Hurts is the model in some ways. Like, I don't think Jalen Hurts is in the same category as Mahomes and Josh Allen, right? Or
and
Brady before that,
yeah,
or even
and
Stafford. He's not in
well,
Stafford's
yeah,
category to me.
and Sam Darnold is way better than Nick Foles, and I'd say probably better than Joe Flacco in
Yeah.
2012. But other
Yes.
than that, man, you're in like to win a Super Bowl, you're either Tom Brady or one of like 4 other dudes.
And this is honestly why, if you were going to bet this year,
You've been on
it's,
the Eagles.
well, no, like, I mean, I guess Hurts has done it, right? But I'm thinking
Yeah,
like Josh Allen and the Bills, even though they're not great.
yeah, but he's
Maybe
a
maybe
good
you think
quarterback.
Drake May is at that level, Stafford, right? I mean, that's why you would pick them over
But
Seattle. But
so
to
if you
again, what's the alternative?
yeah, if you
Of
look at
course you're
the
going to run with this team.
yeah, if you look at the losing quarterbacks, it's actually more interesting. Then you get more in kind of the Sam Darnold territory. So like Purdy in 2023, Garoppolo in 2019, Matt Ryan and Cam Newton in 2015, 2016. Like those guys don't scream elite to me, and they
Right.
made it to the Super Bowl.
It's a good point.
So
And they're also losing to Brady and Mahomes, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, and there's no Brady and Mahomes. I mean, Josh Allen, I think, is that category,
yeah.
but great. The Seahawks are playing the Bills in the Super Bowl. I'd be very happy. So,
Yeah, just looking at this the table of it, it kind of makes you wonder like what would this would the history of the NFL look like if Tom Brady didn't like wasn't a
Mm,
football player.
yeah.
Like, he's won so many different Super Bowls. Anyways, we don't have to talk about Tom Brady, but yeah, but this is what I wanna end with, like, the Seahawks are not just, like, this year, the best team. We've talked about DVOA, but through 16 weeks, there's only 4 teams that have had higher ratings. The '07 Patriots, who went 17-0 until they lost the Super Bowl against the Giants. The '91 Redskins won the Super Bowl. The 1985 Bears won the Super Bowl. And then the 2023 Ravens, who lost the AFC Championship. Lamar Jackson, right? The Seahawks are, when I say that out loud,
Yeah, yeah,
like,
that's
they're in
crazy.
position to
Yeah.
make the NFC Championship, right? Um, they're good enough to do it. So, it's just a weird thing where we're in such a competitive division where if we don't take care of business in the final 2 weeks,
Yeah,
like,
the Eagles have already won their division, and they're 2
yeah,
games worse than the Seahawks,
yeah,
right? And they're gonna be, at worst, a 3 seed and host a playoff game no matter what.
yeah,
And like I said, the Seahawks could be the 6th seed, even though they're the 1 seed right now. Like, it's
yeah,
a wild year, and I think it's really, really exciting for the playoffs if you can divorce yourself from being a Seahawks fan. It's awesome.
yeah.
So,
Did you like their uniforms?
is that your question to me?
Yeah, their
Absolutely
rivalry
not. Those are
uniforms.
disgusting. Those are gross.
Yeah. Christine didn't like them, I didn't like them. I didn't like them from the start. I said they look like Oregon
No.
Duck
Yeah,
uniforms, but even if they didn't look like Oregon Duck uniforms, like, they're still ugly.
they were ugly.
Yeah.
Somebody I
Would
was
you do
with,
you take them over the highlighter uniforms? The
I
action
guess.
green?
Yeah, I don't like the
Yeah,
action green. They just like it does not look good on. Give me the
yeah,
wolf grays, give me the throwbacks, and give me the regular blue and white of the newer version. We're good.
yeah. Would you ever go back to the, '05 uniforms, like the whites and
Oh, I
then, like,
hated those. Those are
the
gross. Those are worse than
yeah,
these ones, I think.
yeah.
Let me ask you a more serious question. Based on what we've kind of been talking about, and Sam Darnold's a big part of this. Should John Schneider win Executive of the Year?
Hands
Oh,
down, right?
okay.
Like,
Let's talk through it.
yeah, I don't think anybody kind of was able to, and some of this goes back to the groundwork of last year, like hiring McDonald and, like,
Totally.
kind of just taking control and moving on from the Pete Carroll era. Um, but I I'm gonna be honest, like, I'm not looking at the other executives and being able to compare Schneider, but I definitely think he belongs in the conversation. Here's why: the 2 draft picks in the last draft, Zabel and Wari, like, they're playmakers. Like, Wari, like, you were talking about him a couple weeks ago, monster game, like, he's one of the best people players in the secondary in the NFC as a rookie. Like, he's great. He's, like, doesn't even have to be that good for the Seahawks defense to be great, but because he's playing great, the Seahawks defense is playing
Let me give
awesome.
you a piece on Eamon Warrior. I heard on the radio today that I'd forgot. Bob Condota
Yeah.
said it on the radio. When the Seahawks traded Geno Smith and decided to move on from him and then went and got Sam Darnold, I think that's another part of this, right?
Yep.
The draft pick they got for Geno, they traded to the Raiders to move up to take Eamon Warrior,
Yeah.
which makes it even more impressive, right? So you
Yeah.
you you go from Geno to Darnold, save money, get a draft pick, use the draft pick to go get your version of Kyle Hamilton and Nick Emanwari, who might be the best defensive rookie in the NFL.
And we were
That's
talking about
incredible.
this when the draft happened. Like, they were getting guys that they could fit in and plug in to play a certain role within the schemes of the offense and the defense. So it wasn't necessarily like just pick the best player, but it felt like pick the best player for the scheme, or on the other end, like, this guy is so good, we'll make sure the scheme fits this dude, right? So,
Then throw in they went out and got DeMarcus Lawrence, who's been awesome.
mhm.
Then they went out and traded DK Metcalf, who's now suspended for the last 2 games of the year. And I read he's going to have to forfeit $45
40
million
$45
because of
million,
this.
yeah.
And we don't know. There's some talk about what the fans said to DK that sounds like, if that's true.
And there's a prior history with this
Yeah, that's
fan.
a weird story, right? Like,
The fan has a lawyer too.
yeah, there's a lot to unpack that we don't know enough information about.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't take any pleasure in DK being suspended or losing money. I have no bad feelings. Was it right to move on? It was before any of this. We said this in the offseason. It was right to move
Yeah.
on for the price tag. You go out and get Cooper Cup, who I think has been really, really solid, and people look at the numbers, but he does other things to create space for people. And then you got to throw in the Shaheed trade in the middle of the year. And Shaheed has won 2 games for the Seahawks.
Yeah, he's basically
I
a better
mean,
version of Percy Harvin.
the kickoff return and the punt return against the Falcons and the Rams changed both games. Like, people forget it was 6-6 in the Falcons game, and Shaheed returns the opening kickoff, and then they go off in 31-0 second half. Rams game, they're dead, and he returns the punt for a touchdown. And he's had some games, like the Colts game, they go down and kick the field goal, and if you go watch, Shaheed had, I think, 2 catches on that field goal winning drive. So, great trade. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Executive of the year. So,
It's as much as like just like the moves that you don't make too, right? Like not deciding not to re-sign DK,
yeah,
right? Like I think that's also, it's not just the moves you make, but it's the moves you don't make.
totally.
So yeah, I think he should be in consideration and probably should win.
Are we going to change
Hard transition, right? By
hard
the way, the
transition?
Kraken won 3-1 against the
I know. 2-game
Anaheim.
winning
Yeah.
streak. Baby.
Yeah. So really this was to celebrate the
Go
the
Kraken.
Kraken.
Back in it.
Okay. Huskies destroyed Steve Lavin's University of San Diego Toreros.
Is he still the coach there?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about WCC basketball right now, okay?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about.
Well, we can talk about, yeah.
I
They
guess it's
split
related.
against the WCC, right?
Yeah,
Danny Sprinkle is 0-2 against the Seattle U Redhawks, who own this city.
They do.
I mean, credit to Seattle U. I'm not going to take
awesome.
anything away from another hometown team.
Awesome for Seattle U.
Yeah.
They're building something good in
they're
that
gonna
conference. Yeah.
They're going to play against Gonzaga and give them fits. Like,
yeah, I kind of want to go to that game. That's going to be a great game.
But my question is, you wrote this out. I wouldn't
ask me the question.
But
ask me the question, and then I'll talk you through it.
Will Danny Sprinkle be the coach at this time next year?
Okay. You think it's a ridiculous question? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, dude. They don't fire basketball coaches after 2 years at UW. They just don't.
Now, can you confirm to me that there is a whale who helps pay for NIL?
I can't confirm, but yes.
You've heard this from multiple people.
Yeah, but it won't work that way anyway next year because of the cap. That was a one-time special. Right?
Great.
Just fund it. Right?
So they went out and got these dudes, right? I don't think they have an amazing roster, but a pretty good roster. They have a lottery pick probably on their team.
Yeah, they have a freshman All-American.
They just got a kid who they brought literally off the airplane from Europe, who's now playing the 4th amount of minutes on the team. I have to tell you how many minutes. Zopina, what's his name?
Is he number 33? I was so confused watching it on the split screen.
Okay, Zopina played 20 minutes tonight, which is the 5th amount of minutes on the team, and he's been on the team for about a week.
Could you imagine how pissed Lathan Somerville might be?
Well, he's hurt tonight,
so
hurt? That's part of the reason he didn't play tonight. But it's a good point. Okay, here's my point, Kev. Here's where I'm coming from. The Huskies are 8-4. They lost to Seattle U last week. It has pissed off a lot of alums. They've lost 2 years in a row to Seattle U. There's people calling for Danny Sprinkle's job. Okay. And if you want to say you got to wait to see what happens, I want to tell you something that you should be worried about. They play Utah next. And after the Utah game, this is how they open Big Ten play. Sorry. They're 1-1 in Big Ten play. This is how they continue. Ken Palm, number 29. Purdue, Ken Palm 5. Ohio State, Ken Palm 36. Michigan, Ken Palm 1. Michigan State, Ken Palm 13. Nebraska, Ken Palm 22. The Huskies are Ken Palm 51, which is higher than I thought they would be. All 6 of those teams are at least 15 spots higher in Ken Palm. It is very possible they lose all 6 and are 1-7 in the Big Ten. And if they're 1-7 in the Big Ten, which odds wise say they would be, that would put them at 9-11 on the year. No chance at a tournament berth. You sure Danny Sprinkle's not on the hot seat?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
do
It's, I
Kev,
mean,
do they have a player signed as a freshman for next year? They do not.
yeah.
They have no players signed for next year. Now, maybe they're just going transfer portal, whatever,
Yeah.
but where's the momentum?
Yeah. It's
Tyron Stokes at Rainier Beach? Absolutely not. You know why? He's signed with Nike, and UW is an Adidas school.
so you're there. You're there already. You're like, there's no way.
Stokes has a Nike deal. Why would he go to an Adidas school? How would that even work?
I mean, Adidas just pays more. You break the contract. You can do it.
Who's done that?
I mean, I don't know, but I mean, if you really wanted to do it, you could do it.
Well, if he's doing it for Kansas. He's not doing it for UW. I'll tell you that right now.
See that.
Okay?
See, that's the better point.
So
right?
I just think they got to start something different.
They got to start winning. But the issue is like they don't have shooters, and this leads to a crisis of offensive identity because the modern offensive game, you need at least one 3-point shooter on the team at all times, and if you can't do that, they just look lost. Like,
I mean,
is it like just one-on-one when Claude is in or when Zoom is in? Like, that's what it looks like. Like, it just, there's no, at least last year it was like, all right, throw the ball into what's his face? I'm blanking on his name. This is so bad. To Great Osabor, right?
Great
like,
Osabor,
like that was the identity, like a shitty,
Yep.
a crappy identity, but
Right.
like at least they knew what they were gonna do. Like here, I'm like, why are we still playing around rotations? And granted, there's like injuries and stuff, but like, dude, we're on the precipice of Big Ten play with that schedule that you just named, and guys look lost. Like, great, you beat San Diego by 20 points, but like, you can't beat Seattle. You can't even like. That's ridiculous. It's bad.
I'm trying to look at his contract right now to see if there's a buyout. The whole contract is on Dogman, which is amazing. He's gonna make next year $3.6 million. He's got a 6-year contract, so they would owe him a fair amount of money. But it's not. I think Hopkins made more.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So my favorite, and maybe we can transition here, but my favorite comment was one of my I posted a transfer portal article on Facebook about Adam Muhammad leaving, and someone commented, said, "Give him all the NIL money from the basketball team. They suck." Which I thought was hilarious.
So, Kev, who will be on the Husky football team next year?
Not Adam Muhammad, who apparently is commanding over $350,000 in NIL. Like, that's his actual value, which is.
Do you know what Jonah made this year?
It's got to be more than that. Yeah, I think it's got to be. I think Jonah is probably over 500,000, and Damon probably in the million range.
They wasted that money on Jonah Coleman.
Yeah, I know.
Turns out,
we were like, there's no way he doesn't get above 1,000 yards. He only finished with like 670.
Yeah, do you remember? I think I said like he's going to be a day one drafted running back. He's amazing, and then he just got injured and fell off the plane.
His stock, he's still going to be like a round 2, round 3 running back. If if the injury,
I'd say later,
but that's a good. We should do some over under later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so Muhammad. Who else?
Muhammad. And the other big hit is Raiden Vinesbright, who is a freshman, like the second guy after Desmond Roebuck. And there's some speculation here, like what does that mean? Like, I think the disappointing thing is both of these dudes were recruited by Fish and like the coaching staff and seemed to like it here. But my speculation is like they were given numbers like this is how much we'll pay you, and they just were like, well, I think I'm worth more than that. Like, I think it's as simple as that. I don't think it's like, oh, I don't like Fish, I don't like my role in the offense. Like, both of these dudes as freshmen and as underclassmen like played a lot.
Yeah, I think you have
to their credit, they're good too.
Yeah, I think Adam Mohammed's really good. I think you have to view this as like major league free agency, NFL free agency, right? Where you're like, "Oh, I think this guy will stay for a hometown discount." Like, that never happens, really. They go
Yeah,
test the
Suarez would be
market.
re-signed. Like Polanco would be back if that
Yeah, they
was the
go test the
case.
market. Polanco went out and got 20 million from the
Yeah,
Mets.
yeah,
Like, that's crazy, right? So if
yeah,
Adam Muhammad can go get $500,000 from frickin' Western Michigan or something, I don't know.
yeah.
It's not gonna be
I
Western
think
Michigan, but you get
Muhammad's
my
an
point.
interesting thing too, is because he's a running back, right? Like, there's no guarantee he makes it in the NFL, and we all
Right.
know that NFL
He should
running
go get
backs.
his bag.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't blame him. And Vine's bright too. Like, if the Huskies told him like, "Hey, we have Roebuck, like he's our number one guy," you know that,
They
and like
also
we
brought
can
in
only
3 top receivers in this class,
yeah,
right?
we can
Yeah.
only allocate in, if by some miracle Boston comes back, like there's nothing going to Vines Bright, right? So like it makes sense for them to enter the portal. It kind of sucks because they were, you lose RB1, you lose wide receiver two, like it sucks, but um, other teams are going to have similar hits. I think it feels like a bigger hit because the Huskies aren't Ohio State, they aren't Michigan, they aren't one of these like
Well, Michigan's a
right.
bad
Yeah, that was a bad
choice right
example.
now.
But they're not Oregon, right? Like, so they
Right.
can't just like necessarily just like reload because they don't have unlimited resources. It's just not the same. They have more resources than a lot of teams, right? Just not as much as some of these like maybe there's like 10 teams that have more resources than the Huskies.
So follow-up, is Jed Fish gonna be back?
I think he's going to be back. I don't think Michigan wants him, and I think it's
Doesn't
like
sound like it.
yeah, yeah.
Do you
I
believe that he wants Michigan, though? That's the rumor I've heard.
I think if he was offered, I don't think he can turn it down. I think it's similar to DeBoer to Alabama. Like, I don't think there's any way Fish could turn it down. Like, unless the desire from him was like it would just be too big of a project. But like, I think most people would tell him, when else are you going to get this opportunity? Like, you have to take it. It's Michigan.
The
So,
thing I heard on the radio today was that Fish absolutely wanted Florida, and he absolutely wants Michigan. That's
oh,
from it was via Hugh Millen on
yeah.
KJR, and he was talking about a quote from somebody connected to Jimmy Sexton, who's the agent who controls all the coaches, and this guy had worked with him, and that was his. So this is like I'm now telling you what I heard on the radio
Hearsay, hearsay,
before
hearsay,
yeah, it's
hearsay,
hearsay. I know what that means, Kev. The mock
quadruple
trial.
hearsay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but that's what all sports media is right now, is hearsay. So
Yeah.
um you know, that wouldn't surprise me. What I think would be an interesting question, and we'll talk about it if Fish does leave, which I don't think he will either, because I don't think Michigan wants him. If Fish left for Michigan and DeBoer leaves for Alabama, the argument that Washington is not a stepping stone program is really hard to keep that argument that somehow Washington is equal to these places. And people often point to the resume, and I think that's fair. Other than Alabama under Saban, the Husky resume is incredible, right? But it
And I
doesn't
think
mean it's not. It
you have to
doesn't mean it's
separate,
not.
yeah, and when you say stepping stone, it means, like, you're going from as much as UW could pay you to as much
Sure,
as LSU could pay
sure.
you. Like, I
Well,
think
pay you plus NIL resources, right?
yeah,
Facilities, all the
investment,
thing, and part of
investment,
that
yeah,
is honestly, part of that is if you're talking about the SEC in DeBoer and Alabama, there's nothing else there, right?
yeah,
So the money in Alabama is going to Alabama football, and the money in
yeah,
Seattle is going to, it's not like they're paying Seahawks players, but there's
yeah.
so many different ways to put your money up here. It's just different.
And here's the
Um,
most important thing, and I think this is the only path for Washington to play with the big boys that we were just mentioning. And it's what Fish, to his credit, has emphasized over and over again. It's like, how do you get Amazon involved? How do you get T-Mobile involved? How do you get Starbucks involved? How do you get all these Fortune 500 companies in Seattle involved to give you Dungeon and Dragon or World of Warcraft themed Husky games, right?
God,
Like
I forgot about that.
yeah, yeah, like what can people do? Like what can these local companies that are international like do for this program so that they can be on the same level as LSU, Oregon, Alabama, etc. Right? Like that's your path. And until you can do that, you're not going to retain the Adam Muhammad's and Raiden Vines Brights of the world. Like you're going to come up short, right? You'll have your Damon Williams, you'll have your one or two, three superstars, but you're not going to retain the B stars that kind of or in the depth that allows you to compete. Now, hopefully, it doesn't get to a point where we're watching right like Oregon versus James Madison. Like I don't think that that gap will exist, and we saw the jump that they made this year, so it's encouraging. So hopefully, Fish comes back and everyone else.
All right. You got a question for me.
Yeah. Speaking of coming back,
Speaking of Christmas.
will the Sonics really return? I
Yeah.
thought it was dead again.
Yeah. Is it alive? I don't know, Kev.
I mean,
Here's
this is the first time Silver has said Las Vegas and Seattle are the two markets we're looking at.
Yeah. So for those who weren't tracking, it seemed like none of the owners wanted expansion, and that may still be the case. But Adam Silver just kind of, not out of the blue, but it was an update that was pretty surprising. Said that in 2026 they will decide on expansion. So they didn't say they're going to expand. They said they're going to decide. Part of me is like, this is no news, right? But you're right. He did also mention like we don't want to tease Las Vegas and Seattle, and he talked about how great of markets they are, how it worked. Adam Silver is really intentional, I think, about his language. So I think then I read some articles that were like, well, this is a great sign. Expansion's coming. I was like, whoa, like national articles, not Seattle ones. Like the Atlantic had an article that said, okay, it looks like it's coming. What does this mean? And that threw me off because I don't want to get my hopes up. Because I think it's really hard for NBA owners to decide they want to share revenue with 31 other teams instead of 29 other teams, because that's a lot of money. But if each team goes for $6.5, $7 billion, maybe that's enough to convince the owners to do it. I guess I'm more optimistic, and I also like that there's a timeline, even though it's an entire calendar year, so we don't know when that'll be. He
Let's be
finally
clear though,
said something's going to happen.
but he's given us timelines before. Like remember last year?
What did he say?
Last year was like, you know, after we get the television deal, then
Right.
we'll turn to expansion, right?
Which
And
is
then,
now. It's just true.
Yeah, but that
I don't
took
know.
a long
It did.
time,
I just
right?
feel like 2026 is him saying, here's my optimistic view. He's waiting to say something until now because he didn't feel like he had the owners.
Yeah.
The optimistic view would be like the owners are starting to turn, but there's a couple more they got to work on, and they don't know how long it's going to take. But they think they can do it this year.
Yeah.
That would be the optimistic view. The pessimistic view is we got to stop stringing these two cities along. And so in 2026, we're going to tell them we're expanding to Europe and not domestically. And we're sad again. So
there would be, he could become the most hated person in Seattle.
He'll never be more hated than David Stern.
Yeah.
Because it's not Adam Silver's fault, right? That he,
yeah.
I mean, maybe it is. Maybe you can say he has to convince the owners, but no, he doesn't. Like the owners are his boss.
Yeah.
If he can't convince them to come with him because they don't want to share the money, I'd be more mad at the other owners for being so greedy and not taking this $7 billion immediate influx. I just do what's right. That's not why they got there, though. They got there because they make money. So we'll see. Let's talk about the Mariners real quick. You'd think we wouldn't have anything to say, but they actually signed somebody today. So should we care about the Mariners signing Rob Refsnyder?
Did you know this guy existed before they signed him?
I did. I like him.
Okay, I did not know this guy existed.
Fair enough.
And here's why the Mariners.
So we shouldn't care then, is what you're saying?
No. Here's why.
So should we care?
Yeah, we should care.
Okay.
And here's why.
Okay.
Since 2022, Refsnyder is hitting .312 against left-handed pitching, 28 doubles, 19 homers, 77 RBIs, and 64 walks. posting a 407 on base percentage and a 924 OPS, which ranks seventh. Okay, I love this part
He hits
because
lefties.
this,
Yep.
yeah, so this is the part that I love. The 407 on base percentage against lefties since 2022 ranks third only behind two people. Aaron Judge at 452 and Paul Goldschmidt at 412. All right. So whoever came up with these stats on the Mariners official press release, kudos to you for framing this
Yeah.
guy as like a beast.
Yeah.
And honestly, we just need guys that don't strike out all the time. Like there's so much power in the lineup, like you just need guys to hit 300, right?
The other
On
thing I
both
saw
sides of the
today,
plate.
Kev, where I think we should care about this is the Mariners seem to have last year, especially, created a culture in the clubhouse, evidenced by Josh Naylor resigning and talking about it, where it's a really, really good culture and people want to be there. It
Yeah.
reminds me of where the Seahawks are. I think that's what Mike McDonald, his value is the most undervalued. Terrible sentence.
Yeah.
Is that the culture is really, really good. And I do think that matters. Having been, around teams for a lot of my life, it matters a lot. And Rob Refsnyder, two things. People said he's a great clubhouse guy. Like I saw that from some reporters. And then second, if you go to like Red Sox Reddit right now, fans are upset. Red Sox fans are like, I love that guy. I'm sad he's gone.
Kind of like a Mitch Haniger type, maybe. Or
Yeah, I
like a
think
Kyle
Haniger was a
Seager type,
good
like,
vibes.
not as
Yeah,
good, this guy's not as good as those 2 guys, but, like, just a
right,
beloved player in the fan
right.
base.
And they just need him he's an outfield DH platoon. So it's kind of weird. He kind of fills the Garver role because even though Garver was a catcher, where Garver would usually, I felt like he would play at DH against lefties a lot because they would just keep Cal in the lineup, or Garver would catch and Cal would DH. So that doesn't really solve that part of the catching. But he's either playing that role or he's sort of the well, I guess it was Donovan Solano at the start of last year. My God. So yeah,
Let's
he's
hope he's not Donovan
no,
Solano.
we should care about this. We should care about this. And
Yeah,
6 million for the Mariners with what they have probably in their budget, it's a
yeah.
decent investment. So, but it's also 1 year. So if it doesn't work, but he seems like a good dude. And he's I think he's the fourth Korean born
But yeah, he's Korean.
player in Major League Baseball or something like that. Or
Yeah, I really liked
um
he sent out a statement, after after signing, and he said he wrote, like, an open letter to Seattle, and he basically said, I used to play N64 MLB baseball featuring Griffey for hours, pretending I was on the
nice.
team. I feel so grateful, humbled, and fortunate for this moment. I'll give you everything I've got. See you in Peoria. I love
Come
it.
on,
Right. Like
let's
I also
go.
played that game, man. He's around my age. I love it.
This dude is
Uh,
gonna fit in with Josh Naylor just fine. It's gonna be great.
welcome to Seattle, Ref
Welcome to
Snyder.
Seattle. Let me tell you another report today, real quick, before we move on, is that the Mariners don't aren't sure that they want to have somebody else play second because they're high on Cole Young, and that might piss some people off. And I'll tell you right now, I'm with the Mariners. I want Cole Young as the second baseman to start the year. I don't want Ketel Marte. I might want Brendan Donovan to play third base slash utility or someone else. I want them to give Cole Young the second base job and see what he can do. I believe he could be really good. I don't want them to give Cole Young and Colt Emerson or Cole Young and Ben Williamson the job. So I want somebody else, but I want Cole Young at second base. I'm on record. Hopefully this is closer to the Seahawks are going to be awesome this year prediction than other predictions I've made on this podcast.
Uh
One more question.
yeah, I guess I got one more for you. The Washington Huskies women's basketball team straight up destroyed Pacific.
They did.
I watched the first 5 minutes of that first quarter of that game, and I was like, okay, we can change it back to the NFL football that's on. Paula Dean's kind of been struggling. Is she going to get
Yeah.
back on it?
Yeah, this is hard. Like El Ladine, was injured for so much of the year, and if you look at her game log, her most points this year are 11 points. She's now played in 6 games since coming back from injury, and her high she's hit 11 twice. Against Pacific, she was 3 of 11 from the field. The USC game was particularly painful. She had 0 points. She was 0 for 10 from the field.
Yeah.
Um, I saw her play. Let's see. I went to the Green Bay game, which is a great game. The Huskies lost at Stanford, and Ladine actually had 11-6. Feels like a little bit better game, maybe. I think there's two things. I think coming back from injury is tough, and I think when she was gone, you've got Sellers and Avery Howell kind of taking 1A, 1B mantle,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's hard for Ladine to find where that fits in. But the Huskies need to figure it out. They also maybe not the same stretch as the men, but they're facing Northwestern, which is nice at home to kick off their it's not really kicking off Big Ten play. They've played one game, but the stretch now where it's just Big Ten play. They're done with their non-conference. So they go, and then they have Michigan, Michigan State, who are both really good teams. So they're also facing some early tests. And while they are probably right around 25th on the next poll, so still ranked, and they're 10-2, and their only losses are to Stanford, who's good on the road, but wasn't ranked, and they lost to
And
USC.
USC on the road.
Yep.
Who's
So
ranked?
they're probably still in the hunt for a tournament berth, but they gotta get some quality wins. They don't really have a quality win yet, and El Ladine coming back to form would certainly help that.
Yeah,
They're a
and
really
and
fun team.
to her credit too, like I get your point. I mean, if I was coaching her, I'd be like, look, like you're not forcing the I mean, she had 8 rebounds, 4 assists against Pacific, even though she only had 7 points. Like, you know, that Green Bay game, like she had 4 assists, a steal, a block. Like she's doing things on the court, like that are impacting the game. I think the scoring is gonna start. Like my prediction is like score. Like you just give it
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah, I
And
think
I
the
know,
concern, right, is
yeah,
28% from three, 37% overall from the field goal.
yeah,
Like she's just too good to be like that. So that's where maybe the injury is part of that. It's a leg injury that affects your shooting. She certainly has she has a form in which her feet, if you watch her habit is that her feet don't land straight up, straight down. She twists her feet as she lands, so she kind of brings right leg forward, which causes her body to twist. And if you're slightly off, that's going to obviously change your shooting versus if you land straight up, straight down, you have a better shot and so when she's on, it doesn't matter. Like she's just cooking. When she's off, that those mechanics can probably throw her off a little bit. So we'll see. They certainly I'm excited to watch them. You know, as you know, I have tickets, so I'll be at that Northwestern game, which is right before our next pod. So that'll be a good test to see where they are going into Big Ten play. But all right, Kev, this is great. We're back at it. We're rolling.
God,
It's
we're under an
Christmas
hour right now,
season.
and we got to top 5.
We're at the top 5. It's Christmas season. Everyone's happy, drinking eggnog. Do you
Ugh,
like eggnog?
I hate
Oh,
eggnog.
it's so good. I used to not like it, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. Ugh.
Opening presents under the tree, getting all excited, or celebrating Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. But we're gonna go real Grinch style here, just for fun. And the Grinch style is our top 5 is really our least 5. So, Kev, who are the 5 teams, colleges, opponents that you sports hate the most?
Yeah.
Should we
Are we going
alternate?
back and forth?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go back and forth. You go first.
All right. The number one is Oregon. Like, I just can't stand them. Like, here's the part that I hate. Like, I shift between reporter mode and fan mode on my account, which is fine. But I think it's been more reporter. Sometimes I just post innocuous things, like things that have nothing to do with Oregon. And like they'll just tag me and then just say something. And I'm like, this is so annoying. Like, I'm not like angry at you and I'm not gonna take the bait. And sometimes I have taken the bait, but
Sure you
like,
have, yeah.
yeah, it's like there's no logic on social media. but it just drives me nuts because it's like, this is so stupid. Why am I arguing with this faceless Oregon troll? But like, they're the only fan base that does that. And maybe Huskies do that to them, but
No.
it's so annoying.
Oregon's on my list, so I will include them as well. Um, I've gone to at least 2 Washington at Oregon games. This is like Jake Locker era when
Yeah.
I would go, and, my nephew was probably under 10 wearing a Locker jersey, and Oregon fans were just, everything short of pouring beer on the child, ridiculing this kid for wearing a Husky jersey to the point I'm like, what is wrong with you? Now, I know some great Oregon alums, great people, as any fan base, but as a collective group, they are on my sports hate list. We say sports hate because, I don't actually, you and I are pretty kind, Jesuit educated people who don't really hate people in general.
Yeah.
Sports hate is what sports are made of. You should hate another fan base in the sense of like you never want their team to have any success. Like I wouldn't mind if Oregon became, I don't know, Cal. Cal's too good.
Yeah.
uh SMU. I don't know what's the equivalent. Somebody who's just a bottom. North Carolina this year. Like if
Yeah.
Oregon became a team that just couldn't get to a bowl, oh, it would be wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, give me another.
The Houston Astros.
Kev, they're also on my
Oh
list. We share both
God.
of them.
I
They
think
might be my number one.
I think this is the part that I hate is that they got caught cheating, right? And there's like no remorse from anyone in the fan base.
No, just double down.
Just like, no, we're gonna down like we're
They're
the
like
best.
everyone cheats or stop living in the past or whatever. They never say like you're right. We shouldn't. I mean, I don't know what any fan base would, but man.
They got caught red-handed.
Mhm.
I loved the fact that we're playing George Springer and they're booing the hell out of him
Yeah.
because he's a cheater. Like
Yeah.
they all took part in this thing. Yeah. I'm so glad we finally got that monkey off our back to for the Mariners to beat them
I
because
realized they're on my list because when the Mariners swept them in Houston this year and really like it was a feeling of, oh wow,
it's like they
we're gonna
killed the
win the West.
Horcrux. Like the Mariners like
100. I don't
found
know
the
what that
final
means,
hor
but 100%. Yes. Is that
I'm
a
so
Harry Potter?
disappointed.
Is that a Harry
Yes.
Potter thing? Okay. Yeah.
It's a Harry
You got
Potter.
so excited you just dropped everything in your room. Yes. I cannot when the Mariners play the Astros, home or away, I have a visceral reaction in my body, and that tells me they have to be on the list.
Yeah.
And that's regular season even, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, give me another.
You know, I think I have to say the Niners fan base.
100%.
And
Niners are on my list.
I literally live in San Jose, Santa Clara, and I just like tried very carefully. I cannot wear a jersey in public. I just can't do it. Maybe that makes me a wimp.
No.
Like
Good for the Niners
I
fans
just
though,
don't
being
want to
that
be.
strong.
Yeah, like I literally would just be yelled at if I
Yeah.
wore anything Seahawks. Like I wear my Seahawks hat, maybe like a nondescript shirt, right, where you can barely tell it's Seahawks related. I think the only way I could get away with anything Seahawks is if I was wearing a Marshawn Lynch jersey in Oakland, and like that's as far as I'll get. But like other than that, I think it's just the entitlement of Niners fans. Like I can tell them like, yo, you guys haven't won a Super Bowl in the past however many years. Doesn't get me anywhere. Right. Like yeah. I think that they're the most respect I have for them because they just stick to it. Like I hate this. They like hate the Seahawks, no matter how much the Seahawks
Yeah.
already suck. Right? Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kick
And
you when you're
and
down.
honestly, their fans like fill a good portion of our stadium, and that also
Yeah,
makes me mad. Yeah,
it
I don't.
makes me mad that we have that JJ has a Christian McCaffrey jersey.
It's
It makes me
ridiculous. What are you
upset.
doing as a father? Unbelievable. Um, yeah, what's funny is so when I was in college, Kev, this is how old I am. So I was in college from 97 to 01.
Played at Candlestick Park, didn't they?
It didn't matter. The Seahawks were in the AFC West when I was in
Oh
college.
yeah.
Oh, growing up for me, it was the Broncos and the Chiefs to a certain extent. A lot of people would say the Raiders, but Bo Jackson was so cool. Like, why would you hate the Raiders? And they had great logos and stuff. The Broncos and Elway were the one that I hated the most, but it was nowhere near how I feel about the Niners now. Like, I really don't I just despise them. And I have good friends who are Niners fans. And so when I was in college, it didn't bother me because the Niners were in the NFC. They had
Yeah.
Steve Young was cool. Jerry Rice was obviously cool, right? Like TO, they had this whole thing with the Cowboys and TO. It was fun to watch it. And the Seahawks weren't very good then.
Yeah.
They went to the playoffs, I think, with Kitna one year when I was in college and played Miami in the first round. I think they beat them. But it wasn't a very good Seahawks era. So when the Seahawks joined the NFC West later, it became a much better rivalry. And obviously it has worked because I hate them. So, God, I'm old. They were in the AFC West when I was in college. I'm so old. I had
So
this
we've
moment.
matched on 4 teams then.
3.
3.
But Kev, I want to tell you how old I am. I was in class this last week before we went on break, and
Yeah.
I have seniors. And I was telling them how, like, I'm 46. I'm gonna be teaching for another 20 years at least. And this kid goes, "Oh my God," just in the front row of class. I was like, I don't even know how to take that. They're just like,
Yeah.
I'm already old and I'm like irrelevant to you. I'm such a boomer. I can't even relate to you and you can't imagine. Or is it you're depressed for me?
No,
I
I
couldn't
think we're
couldn't
gonna
figure
get
it
a
out.
very sorry, we're gonna get deep here. But it's a generational thing where these kids and I think my generation's a little bit like this, where it's just not a single, and when I say just, I'm not saying that
Yeah,
to
yeah.
demean you, but
No, you're fine.
you're not running a single career,
Yeah,
right?
you're
Like
right.
these kids are thinking 5 years I'm gonna do this, then I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
do
probably
this,
right.
then I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this, right? And he's just looking at you. Wow, this guy's just
He's
gonna
like, this guy's
teach.
already been here 23 years. He's going to be here another 20, just 43 years at the same place. I'm like a
You're like the
1950s guy
Yeah, you're like the
working at
Philip.
Boeing.
Yeah, you're basically
Oh
like the
man.
Philip Rivers of the Seattle Prep humanities department.
Good
I'm
for
sorry.
me, I guess. All right, give me a fourth one.
Um, I don't like the Yankees, dude. They suck.
Okay, the
Like
Yankees
I
were on my list potentially, but I want to hear you out and I'm going to go a different route. So go
I
ahead.
think they're weirdly intertwined with a disproportionate amount of Seattle sports history with the
Totally.
Mariners. Like if
Totally.
you think of
What a great way to
how
say it.
every
Disproportionate.
time
Yeah.
the Mariners were good, the Yankees were better, and
Yeah.
that's what's frustrating. And my
Except for this
cousin,
year. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, except for this year, right? But even this year, Aaron
It was
Judge got the
close.
MVP over
Good
Cal
point.
Raleigh, right?
Good
Like
point.
pisses me off.
Yes,
It's
great
not
point.
fair.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So 2001, right? Make the ALCS. Yankees beat them. 2000, they make the ALCS. Yankees beat them. 1995, the team we always talk about, make it to the ALCS. Yankees beat them. That's 3 of the 4 times that the Mariners have been in the ALCS where the Yankees have beat them. And and on top of that, the Yankees are just always
No,
good,
wait.
right?
It's only been twice the Yankees have beat him in the LCS.
Wait.
2000 and 2001.
Okay, so 95 was the
95, the Mariners beat the
Indians,
Yankees in the division series
and then they
and then
lost to the
lost
Indians.
to the Indians. And
Yep.
97, the Mariners lost to the Orioles in the first round. And then obviously 2022. Is that when
Yeah.
they lost the Astros? Yeah.
And
So
there's also a weird batch of Mariners that have gone to the Yankees and have
yeah,
found success
sure.
in just dudes that I've liked that have played for the Yankees. And
Yeah.
then there's guys that have come back between the two clubs. Robinson Cano is so weird that he played a chunk of his career in Seattle, but I'm thinking guys like Jeff Nelson,
Yep.
Ichiro played for the Yankees.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
It's a
Really
weird
ruins it.
it's a really weird relationship with the Yankees. So yeah, I hate them because they beat us in games that matter.
Okay, the Yankees aren't going to make my list, but they were on the big list, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Oklahoma City Thunder
Oh, that's a great one.
because I don't even have to explain it, right? I
Yeah.
just thought about things that give me visceral reactions, like I said before. And It's easier than it used to be because I view them more, and some people don't go this, and I don't.
Yeah.
I'm okay with anyone's feelings of ill will towards the Thunder, okay? For me, I almost view them as a separate franchise because it's been long enough that part of me is sports healed. But not totally, because as they're winning the championship, I can't watch. I have to turn it off. I was actively rooting against them the last 2 years in the playoffs. I don't want them to win again this year. Like, and I think I have that a little bit with the Yankees. I certainly have it with the Astros, right? So like the teams that you're like, please don't win.
Yeah.
I think my Thunder hate is stronger than the Niners in some way. Because if the Niners won the Super Bowl, I'd be like, that sucks. But when the Thunder win, I want to throw up.
Well,
So
here's the thing: the Seahawks could go win the next Super Bowl, or could go beat the Niners. Like, we can't do anything about the Thunder.
yeah, thanks for that. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, give me your fifth, your last one.
Sorry, I have to bring this up because I did
That's
write
okay.
it down. I put the Rams down.
Rams are on my list, but they're
Yeah.
not there. You will not be surprised by my fifth one. Go ahead.
I think what I hate about the Rams, and it's exclusively like it's the Los Angeles Rams fans.
Yes.
I remember when this transition happened, and then all these Rams fans came out of nowhere in LA, and they're starting to talk trash to me during the Seahawks peak.
Yeah, come on.
I was like, sit down. Like, you've had your team for like back for like a year. Like,
Yeah.
do something significant.
Were you rooting for the Jim Everett Rams? Was that you back in the day?
Yeah.
Come on.
No. So,
and you didn't move from St. Louis with them. So
yeah. And they seem pretty obnoxious for only winning one Super Bowl in the past 20 years in LA. So
I get the same sort of visceral feeling. But then the thing about the Rams that I have a hard time with is I admire Sean McVay so much.
Yeah.
That I hate losing to him, but not in the way that like Harbaugh with Pete Carroll. Like I hated Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Sports hate. McVay, I just admire, and it makes me mad when he beats us. So the Rams didn't quite make it. I was really close to putting the Timbers on, but as I've not been a Sounders season ticket holder anymore, it's faded a little bit, but I really, really, really wanted nothing more than to beat the Timbers. But I have to have my fifth one be Gonzaga. And it's a tricky one. That's why it's fifth, because I have friends who listen to this podcast, and I certainly am surrounded by Gonzaga people at my institution of work. Yeah. There's so many Gonzaga people, and they are wonderful. And I'm really conflicted because the point guard at Gonzaga is Braden Smith, one of the point guards.
Yeah.
And he went to Seattle Prep, and I taught him, and he's a wonderful kid with a great family. And he had 21 points and 7 assists against Oregon recently. He had a great game. So this year I have a sort of temporary Gonzaga hold because I'm kind of rooting for them because of him. But my hatred of Gonzaga runs deep because I'm a Santa Clara alum. And for those who don't really understand it, because most people I talk to are younger than I am, I went to Santa Clara in 1997. The Steve Nash led Santa Clara Broncos just 4 years earlier, if I have this right, upset Arizona in the tournament. And Steve Nash graduated just a couple years before I got there. It was as if Santa Clara was on the brink of being what we know as Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Right? So I get to Santa Clara and everyone's hyped, and Gonzaga's been fine, but nothing. My freshman year is the first year with Matt Santangelo and Richie Fromm and Casey Calvary and all those. That big magical run was my freshman year of college. Sorry, it was my sophomore year of college, not my freshman year. And then I watched Gonzaga win 3 years in a row, and I've watched them win ever since. And this is partly a knock on Santa Clara, who was 8-1 this year, and everyone is excited about. They were in ESPN's bracketology in the tournament, and Santa Clara has now lost 4 games in December and completely eliminated themselves once again from being in the tournament. And Gonzaga is rolling. And so I've just now for 25 years been watching Gonzaga go to the tournament and Santa Clara crap the bed every year. So you know what? Yeah, I hate you, Gonzaga. I sports hate you.
That's a great. I can't follow it up.
Thank you.
I really can't. I'm not gonna try. Oh
Is
man.
it jealousy? 100%.
Yeah.
And I
So
hate
you're
it.
happy they're leaving.
Oh my
They're
God. The best thing that's ever happened. Everyone's like, oh, the WCC is going to hurt. Gonzaga's leaving. Please go. I actually probably won't hate you anymore. Similar to when the Niners weren't in the AFC West.
yeah.
Like, I'll be fine. Do whatever. All the alums I've taught go there. Santa Clara might possibly have a shot to go to the tournament. Do I care if they're a 16 seed? Absolutely not. Just want to see you in the tournament, please.
Oh man. On that note,
On that note, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Maybe we'll get another episode in before the start of the new year.
What do you
But
mean maybe? For these people who want the pod to happen, we can't just say maybe.
well, this is great because we're creating demand, right? Don't you teach economics, supply and demand? If we come out with an episode every week for 2 years straight, people are just gonna, they'll be back next week, right? I don't need to, got to create some sort of demand.
You know what happens when you increase demand? The price is supposed to go up. But since there's no price for our podcast, Kevin, we're not making any money.
Oh God! All right, get those YouTube views up,
All
like
right.
and subscribe. Thanks for listening, and we'll probably see you next week.